Bob Braun Show. With Nancy James, Mary Ellen Tanner, Mark Preston, and the Teddy Rakel Orchestra. Today, our big money call is worth $6,600. Hang up, we may be calling you. And now, here's Bob.
Thank you. How are you? Thank you very much, and welcome to our program. Good to see you today. Yeah, they said we had ventriloquist dummies on. Now I know what they're talking about. Anyway, it's very nice to welcome you to our program today. We have an interesting show for you. Do you remember Farfel? You used to say Nestle makes the very best chocolate. Well, Farfel is now going to be on display permanently in the greater Cincinnati area in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, the Van Haven Figure Museum. It's a museum for ventriloquists' figures, and you mustn't call them dummies, because if you do, they're going to come and get you. And we have a man on. I tell you, I walked back that property and scared me to death. There's a man here today who carves ventriloquist figures. He's also a ventriloquist. He's an entertainer. But on a table back there, he's going to bring it out. He has heads in various stages. I felt like Louis XIV at first, you know. I looked at that table and I thought, oh, I can't bring that on the air. I mean, you look up, I swear one of them winked. I walked by and I could feel his eyes going on the way by. He'll be here today. Plus, we have a Piccolo player. You know how to Piccolo? Oh, you got the equipment, I got to tell you that. You could do that. What is your name?
Barbara.
Say it again, please.
Barbara.
Oh, notice how she says, Barbara. A piccolo is an instrument that all of us have, but none of us really know how to use properly, except very few. Let me see if you can go. Can you do that? Sounds like the beginning of the national anthem, doesn't it, huh? What's your name?
Barbara.
Barbara. I just wanted to watch you say it again. Where's Mrs. Vine? Where are you? Vian. Vian? Oh, I just thought he had a southern accent. He said, go to Mrs. Vine. And I thought he was saying Vine. Mrs. Vine, where are you from? He told me you're a real character. Who are you?
I'm Vian Bruther from Eminence.
Well, stand up, Vian. You mean Vine is your first name?
Vian, just like Diane.
Diane. Vian. Boy, your mom must have made that one up. I've been on the air for 100 years. I've never heard that name before.
She gave my sister a better name.
What's hers?
Sharon. She's sitting back there.
Hello, Sharon. Nice to welcome you, too. Well, Vian, where are you from? And who
Eminence, Kentucky.
And you're with whom today?
The Making Men Homemakers, and don't say what you did last time.
What did I say last time?
I'm not going to tell you.
It's the Making Men?
Mend.
Oh, Mend.
Mend.
That's what I said last time. Now I know exactly right. Well, I'm glad you came to see us today, Vian.
Thank you.
And I'd like to send you to the Ponderosa Steakhouse to enjoy dinner on me. You're indeed welcome, Vian. It's nice to welcome a Vian to our show.
Right.
My name is Brian. Braun. Braun, yes. Welcome, Eminence. Keep your pucker ready. To get things underway today, I'd like you to welcome a gal who was one of the quartet who did such a great job last week, and I am really indeed indebted to them for taking my place for the week, and I'd like you to welcome her back. She looks so cute today. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy James.
Talks to me so loud. Do I do what you do when I do my love to you, baby? When I hear you on the phone, your sweet, sexy voice turns my ear all the way on. Just the mention of your name seems to drive love that we'll make. If to me your vibes can do all this, just imagine how it's gonna feel when we hug and kiss. Do I do what you do when I do my love to you, baby? Yeah. Ooh. Yes, I got the tender kisses for your lips. Yes, I got the nice little chocolate kisses full of love for you. Ooh. Yes, I got the tender kisses for your lips. Yes, I got the honeysuckle chocolate dripping kisses full of love for you. Do I do?
Nancy James.
Oh, I love to watch her sing. We'll be right back. A word about Tyson Chicken. I would imagine some of you had a great feast over the holidays when you had your big 5th of July picnic this year. And if you had fried chicken, I sure hope it was Tyson, because there is a decided difference between this and ordinary chicken. It's Tyson bred and fed, and therein lies the big difference, because with the breeding of these chickens, they keep the meat uniform, and with the feeding, therein lies the difference, because there, too, they keep it uniform. You see, they feed them the same thing, the right amount, so that they grow healthy and strong, and also have a great flavor that you can count on every time. I'll tell you how good it is. Don Tyson, who's head man at Tyson Chicken, puts his personal guarantee and signature on every package. He says, I personally guarantee its quality or your money back's on every package. There are 26 separate kinds of packages of Tyson Chicken. And Elsa sent down to Shillitoe's today to their kitchens and had this magically made. What is that, Elsa Marie?
Hawaiian chicken.
I'm fine, thank you. A Hawaiian chicken in honor of my return. Thank you. Tyson Chicken in honor of the best you can buy. Don't forget Tyson on your shopping list. Now, a word about the Ponderosa Steakhouse. Now, I've been there many times, and we were just there again over the weekend, because when we got home from our trip, there wasn't anything in the refrigerator, so it was a situation of you will go out to dinner. And when we went to the Ponderosa Steakhouse, I guess I was impressed all over again at the size of the menu, the new things which have been added. And if you haven't been to Ponderosa for a while, wait until you see all the new things from which to choose. Makes it a better buy and better variety than ever at the Ponderosa Steakhouse near you.
Ponderosa knows just how frenzied your life can be. So come to Ponderosa and slow down. Slow down to relaxing prices on our new ham and cheese sandwich or new sirloin tips. If you aren't happy with any of our exciting new entrees, just ask for another one, free.
Slow down, make a good meal at Ponderosa. Slow down, Ponderosa.
You know, there's an old German saying that says, we grow too soon old and too late smart. And sometimes that happens with our children. When we get to be to where we're near the age of being grandparents, we look back and say, boy, if I had only known that when our kids were little, I might have been a better father, a better mother for those children. The skills that they learn when they're little bitty are the skills that they take into grade school, into high school, into college, into the rest of their life, developing those learning abilities. And too often we rely solely on the school teachers and the college professors to do our jobs, where really the best teacher of our children would be the parents, would be us. And we have with us today a lady who is really superb at doing this. She is a sister. Her name is Sister Mary Ann Humbert. Would you welcome Sister Mary Ann to our show? Hi, sister. Nice to see you. Sister, you went to one of our local parochial schools here, Regina High School, didn't you?
I did, yes.
I wonder if you ever came to my record hops out there. I was about the time you were going through there is when...
My age is going to show. I'm sure I did.
You graduated, I think, 1962?
62.
Well, we were really swinging
Is that
with
so
it.
your age or mine?
Well, my mother used to bring me out there. So.
Oh, did she?
No, as a matter of fact, maybe both of ours, but I used to come out there about once, twice a year to Regina High School, and I was always impressed with the way the school was run and how nice the people there were.
I thought it was a good school, and we had top-notch record hops.
Yes, we did.
That's true.
Yeah,
We
had
did.
the best ones in town, that's for sure. I guess
we did.
maybe a sister shouldn't admit to going to a record hop. Is that proper? Is that all right?
I think it's perfectly proper.
You and I won't get in trouble.
If you still had them, I'd still go.
Bless your heart. I wish I could. Sister, at that time when you were going through school, did you think that you would become a nun? Did you think that you'd become a teacher? What did you plan for your life at that stage?
Well, at that stage, I was looking forward to becoming a sister. I really, the family was deeply religious, and that means a lot to me.
So therein lies what I was saying before, that early
the
training.
family influence, for sure, yes.
Did you feel then at that time that you had something else to say about the teaching of your young people and learning how to teach them better so they could learn their skills?
I think that came much later. As I look back on it, I taught child development for a while at Seton High School in Cincinnati. And the more I got into it, the more convinced I was of the importance of those first years. You know, and some of the statistics say that 50% of the intelligence or your intellectual capabilities are present by the age of 4. So when you see that kind of statistic, you think, you know, we have got to start looking at those early years. So I think that combined with the ingenuity of my parents could do almost anything with nothing. And that's part of what I do with children.
Well, I like the introductory letter that you have in this book called the Undercover Activity Book. And in this book, the very first part is a letter to the parents. And it begins with, Dear parents, in this age of energy and resource shortages, you are entrusted with our world's most precious natural resource, a child. And then she goes on to talk about children come with built-in curiosity. And then she goes on from there to talk about how they want to know. They're like little sponges trying to sponge up everything they see and they can touch, and they want to touch, and they want to feel, and they want to see, and they want to smell. They want to know everything that's going on. What can we as parents do to help develop this more and be more aware of this?
Read the book.
It's too late. My baby's 18.
No, really, that's part of what I do. Part of what I do is try to offer parent programs for parents of young children so that they know the whole variety of skills that they can offer a young child. And the title of that book has a special significance, the Undercover Activity Book, because part of my philosophy too is that you can teach the child excellent learning skills and they'll never know you're doing it. They'll never suspect. It's not sitting down for 10 minutes and now is our math lesson, and then the next 15 minutes we will have our alphabet, but the informal way that you interact with them. You know, it's an undercover activity and an informal, fun way to do it. Now, some parents do that really well, and for some of them, it's an appreciation of what they teach that they don't realize. And I think lots of parents need that, too.
I guess as you're saying, that's nutrition for the mind, so the last thing you want to do is say, you're going to learn from this. It's like saying when they're going to eat, this is good for you.
Right.
If you don't tell them that, they might enjoy the flavor.
Right, right. There's so much that they can enjoy. And, you know, to give the parents some ideas about waste, some parents simply do not have a natural ability to just pick up things and help a child learn from it.
One of your lectures has to do with a house full of toys. And with a house full of toys, you think that, well, he's got plenty to play with, or she has plenty to play with. They'll take care of themselves. You could have all the toys in the world, but without that little tender love, you wouldn't have anything, would you?
That's true. And half the time they're not interested in the toys anyway. They're interested in what you have. So the trick is sometimes to take what you have and invite them into that activity somehow and let them learn from it.
There's an old story, and it's still very true. We used to read to our children a lot before they go to sleep, and they get a favorite story. They get a favorite story, and they want to hear it every night. And this one father was so tired of reading the same story all the time, he figured, I'll put it on a tape recorder. So he could go ahead and watch television and turn the recorder on, and the child wouldn't go to sleep and still cried. He went and said, what's wrong? The story's there. You can hear the story. He says, yeah, but I can't sit on the tape recorder's lap.
That's another thing I think that, you know, is part of my hope for the work I've done with parents is to give them a way to interact, because some parents are very stiff and aren't sure how to interact with a preschool child. So part of it, too, is to give them hints about ways to do that they'll be comfortable with.
You've brought along a youngster with you today. We're going to show in a practical way what you're talking about. Who is she and how old is she?
Katie Robinson is 2.5. She'll be 3 in December. And she's coming out, and we're going to sit and play some games and see what Katie will help us demonstrate.
Well, I'll step out of the way, and let's make believe this is your house in your city, wherever you are.
Katie, will you come up here with me? Okay. We have some of your... You know what we were going to do, Katie? You were going to help us string some of these beads. Remember? Can we make a necklace out of those? Can you show us how to do that? That's it. You dump those out first. Okay. What color should we put on first, Katie? That blue one won't stay on top, will it? What should we put on? Here, I'll get those to stay for you. You gonna put that one on? Put that on your string? Good. How about this? What color is this one, Katie?
Red.
Yeah, just like your dress, isn't it? It's a bright red. You know, what other color you told me was one of your favorites? What color is this one?
Yeah.
Orange. Can you get that long, skinny one on there? You like to stack those up, don't you? Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more on your string there.
Okay, this is really noisy.
It's really noisy? It's really noisy here, Katie. You're right. Lots of noise that you're not used to. Does that scare you a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, you got them here.
I have pumpkins I want us to cut. Do you think you can put any more of your beads on, or should we cut the pumpkin? You're doing such a nice job with your beads. You like to stack better, don't you? Did you show all the people what you had on today, what you wore? What did you wear today? Ring. Special so that everybody could see it. See, they all wanted to see it. Okay, what if we put, we might have to finish up your necklace later, Katie, okay?
Now, could you explain to our audience what method you're using here and the point of this, sister?
Okay, we were taking, part of this is eye-hand coordination, where for her age, she is excellent at stringing the very small beads.
How old is she?
2.5. And that's
amazing.
very good, and this is very good too. Can you cut my pumpkins for me? I want 2 pumpkins, Katie. Can you cut across there for me? That's it, you can hold it.
Too, isn't she? See, now at 2.5, a lot of parents would be a little reluctant to let a child have scissors that way, but under supervision, if she knows they can hurt, but knows how to handle them.
Right, she knows to be careful with it. When she's finished with it, she puts it, you know, we put it on the table, put it someplace that's away.
One of the things that I've noticed right off the bat, and I'm sure our audience did too, is your patience with her, which is just great, sister, when you have one.
You did, you cut it.
But if you had a whole bunch, let me see, Katie. Huh? Oh, wow, you did a
Give
good
him a
job.
pumpkin.
Thank you.
Do you think you can cut a pig off for him? He would like that little pig. Can you cut him off?
Can you cut that off for me too?
Oh, we want to cut him right over here. We don't want to cut him in half, Katie.
She's looking for the ham. Right off the
Expensive
bat.
these days. You're yeah,
What
but
is it?
to, you know, like this is stiff paper in thin strips, so that when she cuts, it takes 1 or 2 snips, and she has some sense of satisfaction. You know,
Now,
she can see something happen.
these things are not made by Mattel. These are things that you have that are constructive, that the child can play. Not that there's anything wrong with Mattel, but
But some of these are, well, they offer alternate kinds of skills. You know, like the beads I bought, these are macrame beads. But as the child's skill gets better, you buy smaller beads and something that they can string it with, and their skill keeps getting better at doing that.
isn't there a danger, sister, if they played with those alone, they might swallow them? How do you circumvent those kinds of problems that we hear about, like with the manufacturers of toys? They say can't have a sharp point, something they can take off and swallow. Is it that you have to have supervision with this?
Well, you have, excuse me, you have to know the child. I mean, some parents know they still put everything in their mouth. So then if she were ready to do this, I would keep it somewhere and maybe get it out only when we're working together. I mean, I wouldn't leave her alone with the scissors, and now she's cutting the cow in half.
And I noticed that you also have something that you may have gotten from her daddy's workshop. What
Yeah.
would the child do with this bolt and with these nuts that are in here?
All right, these I use for small motor skills and also for size discrimination. Once a child has gotten some skill
Thank you, Katie.
at the small motor, with their small motor abilities, this offers the challenge of getting, sometimes I can't do it, getting that on. I give them a variety of nuts and bolts so that it's a problem-solving thing too.
So the whole bottom line of this is that a child should do something that develops the skills that she will need for the rest of her life. And the same thing. She's so relaxed, so she must do this all the time.
Oh, you're going to catch the rabbit. You got him right on the nose. Right on the nose.
What a job. What a job. Sister's book covers the basic ideas of what we've been demonstrating to you today. It's called the Undercover Activity Book, and this book is available by mail, by the way, and you can send for it. We'll give you an address. If you happen to live in the Cincinnati area, it is Mount St. Joe, or you can get it also at the Logo bookstore in North College Hill. But you can write to Sister Marianne Humbert, and the address is 808 Schiff Avenue, Cincinnati 45205. How much is it, sister?
It's $5.
Does that close?
That includes the postage.
Postage and handling.
Yeah.
If you'd like to have one of these, I think you'll find it very interesting. What'd you say, Katie? You did it again. You caught a monkey that time, didn't you? Huh?
No.
What? A cat. Excuse me.
Sorry that you... Would you like some of my animal cards to practice with?
Yeah, I guess I would, sister. I'm only up to my 4s on the flashcards. We'll be right back. Sister Marianne Humbert, thank you very much.
This is Final Touch Concentrated Fabric Softener from Lever Brothers, and it works. Have you ever gotten ready to go someplace and your dress and your slips kind of sticking to you a little bit? Well, that's a bad situation, especially if you're a guy. But we recommend that you use Final Touch from Lever Brothers because it does work. It has bluing for extra whiteness. And on the front now it says new and improved, and it's hard to believe that it's any better than it used to be, but they just keep improving upon their products. It's wonderful. If you have a little baby around the house, those babies' clothes and diapers are going to be so soft and so white, and it does help eliminate that terrible static cling. And most of the sizes, all you need is about a cap full, but if you use that Big Bertha, as Bob calls it, all you need is about a half a cap full in your final rinse water, and it's so appropriately named because it really will put the final touch to all of your wash. He always has me in the laundry room, but this will help you get out faster and with the best results. We hope that you'll use Final Touch Concentrated Fabric Softener from Lever Brothers with bluing for extra whiteness.
We'd like to talk with you about the Borden Dairy right now and remind you that there is a new product, relatively new. It's been on the market a couple of years now, but something you may not know about that could really make the difference in how much you enjoy your cereal in the morning, how much you enjoy a tall, cool glass of milk, and that is new Borden High Protein. Now, what is it? Well, it has the full-bodied flavor of whole milk that maybe you've missed for a long, long time because you've been drinking skim or low-fat milk. But what it really is low-fat milk. What Borden does is to take Elsie's milk, and they remove all the milk solids, all of the butter fat. They put back twice the amount of milk solids and only 2% of the butter fat. And the result, you'll really snap to when you hear this. The result is a full-bodied tasting glass of milk that maybe you've forgotten all about. High protein. Rich in protein, rich in flavor, but low in butter fat content. It's at your store where they feature Borden Dairy products. If you don't see it, ask for it by name. It's Borden High Protein, protein-fortified vitamin A and D, low-fat milk. Available now at most Parkview and IGA stores and many others throughout our area. I do have to make amends here to our group from Eminence, Kentucky. The name of their group is Make and Mend. You must say it slowly, otherwise you could be in large trouble. Vian, did I get it correct that time? Are you the prez? You're not. Is anybody here who is president, who will claim to be at least? You don't have a president.
She had to work today.
She had to work. Well, we'll make amends for her too then, okay. What about your club? What does the Make and Mend Club of Eminence, Kentucky do, Vian?
I was afraid you'd ask that question. We do have a lot of good times.
Yeah, making and mending, right?
Right. We tear up and then we make up. We do real good.
It's sort of like marriage. You know, you fight and then you make up.
There you go.
There you go. Make amends. True.
Right.
Well, Vian, I'd like to present your group with the Maxwell House coffee maker from Maxwell House. It gives you flavor you can count on, flavor that's good to the last drop, and I hope you enjoy this today.
Thank you so much.
Would you welcome our Make and Mend group from Eminence, Kentucky, visiting with us today? Sharon Krause. Where's Sharon? Sharon Krause. Would you stand, please, Sharon? I'd like to meet you because Sharon is from a place we're going to visit next year. How long did you live in Europe?
I've been in Europe 4 years now.
But where are you a native?
From Kentucky.
And what were you doing in Europe?
My husband's in the military.
Aha, so you were stationed in The Hague?
In The Hague now,
Uh-huh.
and we were in Germany for 3 years, in Heidelberg.
Well, the reason I was so fascinated when I read your card, we have just designed a trip with the Barney Rapp Travel Agency that we hope to take next year, and that will be where we go to The Hague. We'll be in Holland for, that is Holland, isn't it?
That's Holland,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll be there for 2 days, and then we're going to take a boat and go down the Rhine River for a 5-day river cruise. Have you ever seen those boats on the Rhine?
Oh, yes.
Aren't they beautiful?
They're lovely.
I've never done this, but
They
you
make
go...
me homesick for the Ohio.
Yeah, they do. Well, it looks very similar, as a
Yes.
matter of fact. Once you do this, from what they tell me, what Herb Reisenfeld tells me over at Barney Rapp, you kind of feel like you can understand why the German people settled this part of the country, because there is a great similarity between the Rhine River and the Ohio River.
But there's more sunshine here.
Is there really?
Much more.
I'll take along an umbrella.
Definitely. Don't go without it.
We're going through France, Germany, and then wind up down in Switzerland, and then go over to Munich, Germany. What city were you in Germany?
In Heidelberg.
Were you glad to get home?
Oh, was I glad? This is the best place in the world to be.
You know, it's one of the things that you learn when you take trips to foreign countries. You learn to appreciate what we have more, don't you?
Definitely.
Well, we're glad to have you back home. I have something I'd like to give you. I don't have one up here on the desk, but I have gotten a new pendant necklace from Litwin Jewelers, Litwin Diamond Cutters. They're down on 6th Street in Cincinnati and in the Florence Mall, and they sent over some opal pendants, and I'd like to give you one to welcome you home.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Nice to see you today. Well, you're in for a real treat today because we have a guy who's kind of one of us, I'd say, because he's from Noblesville, Indiana. Don't you like to see one of us make it, huh? Yeah. This young man, well, he's been playing guitar since he was a little boy. His dad was a songwriter, is a songwriter, and also a guitar picker. And by the time this guy was a teenager, he could play guitar, bass, banjo, baseball. He was in with all the skills. And he was with Dottie West for about 3 years as part of her band. She, at the tender age of 17, he went on the road with her and learned an awful lot about traveling. One of the things he learned, he was kind of lucky to be in Noblesville and stay home once in a while. But now he's recording for RCA, and he's had a great big hit record all about Kansas City. I'll tell you how good it was. The city of Kansas City, Missouri, adopted his record of Kansas City as their city song. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back home, Steve Wariner. Here he is.
Kansas City lights, in my mind they shine so bright. 6 months out at sea, be coming home soon only. I think of her as I stand here on the deck. Stars light the sky like a Kansas City night. Reflections on the water take me back. Kansas City lights, in my mind they shine so bright. She's waiting there, I've been away too long. Kansas City lights shine for me tonight. Watch over her for me till I get home. There's no war is ever won, but mine's a job that must be done. It's just sometimes it feels like no one cares. The waves are calm tonight as I take my pen and write. You're always in my dreams and in my prayers. Kansas City lights, in my mind they shine so bright. She's waiting there, I've been away too long. plane descending above the lights of Kansas City. And as the plane touches down, I see her standing there right now. Kansas City lights, in my mind they shine so bright. She's waiting there, I've been away too long. Kansas City lights, shine for me tonight. Watch over her for me till I get home. Kansas City lights, shine for me tonight. She's waiting there, I've been away too long. Kansas City lights, oh please shine for me tonight. Watch over her for me till I get home.
Steve Wariner. We'll talk to Steve in a minute right after we pause for these messages. Summertime is picnic time, as I was mentioning before. When it comes time for picnics, don't forget Reed's salads in a can. Can you believe this? You can get salads in a can that have that, hey, I just made it flavor. It's true. And if you haven't tried it, you're the one who's missing out. A lot of people will say, hey, who wants salad in a can? Not me. Wrong. When you try it one time, you'll know yourself that it has that fresh flavor. And when your guests try it, they won't even know that you didn't spend hours making it for them. And the good part about it, they're fresher than deli. So if you're thinking about salad and you're going on a picnic, just throw can and all right in with the drinks where they'll stay cool and where it stays cold. And then when you're set, open it up right there. You can get the American-style potato salad, the macaroni salad, and those bean salads, those 3 and 4 bean and halvia. They're terrific. And German potato salad, we like to heat that, by the way. It's excellent, made by Reed, and that garden salad is superb. Look for it in the various size cans at your store. The name is Reed, and it's fresher than deli. It's Reed's salads in a can. There's a lady in our studio who said that she has lost 75 pounds at the Gloria Marshall Figure Salon. I think I found 10 of it in Hawaii. Where is Linda Burdett from Hebron, Ohio? Linda, a mere shadow of yourself, aren't you, huh?
I guess.
How did you happen to go to Gloria Marshall?
Through your show, I had come to a point in my life where I really didn't like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I had called Gloria Marshall a couple times and hung up.
Uh-huh.
And I kept watching, you know, and you kept telling, you know, how easy it was. So one day I decided I would go. So I went, and very reluctantly, and I said, now they're not going to sell me on this. I'm going to make up my own mind. And I went in, and they were so nice and special, and I told them that this was something I wanted very personal, just between me and my counselor, and it was. It was great. And since then, it's just given me a new lease on life, and not only physically, but mentally. Do I feel better?
I thank you. We say all the time, you have a friend at Gloria Marshall. Now, to entice you to go, I can get 5 free lessons for you there for $10. That makes it almost free. 5 lessons for only $10, weight loss sessions, that is, and then you make up your mind. No pressure, you make up your mind. I think you'll be satisfied like this lovely lady. Visit the Gloria Marshall near you at your earliest opportunity. Thank you very much for that wonderful endorsement. You know, she wasn't sent here by Gloria Marshall. Usually we have a counselor and one of our, as we call them, losers of the day, and she's just in our studio audience, and I have to tell you something. You did a better job than any of those they've sent down here in about the last 3 years. Fantastic. And now that you don't mind wearing one, I'd like you to have a Beeline fashion sweater for that new bod you got to put in there, huh? Good to see you today. Steve, welcome back. I'm fine. Glad to have you home.
Thank you.
Noblesville, Indiana, huh?
Noblesville.
It's a long way from there to Nashville, isn't it?
Pretty good ways.
Steve, you travel with Dottie West. Now you're traveling with Barbara Mandrell. You have a thing for the women, huh?
We did, well, you know, what can I say? We just started a summer tour with Barbara, and we started out in Detroit, Pine Knob Theater the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, about 3 nights ago, I ran to L.A. and did a TV show the day before yesterday, and was out in L.A. 5 hours and caught a plane and came back to Toledo and played last night in Toledo with Barbara.
And then finished that and caught a plane and got into here today.
Yeah, well, we drove from, the band met me in Toledo and we drove down this last night. So.
Well, if you nod off, we'll certainly understand.
No, I feel great.
You know, that ought to impress you, because a lot of people say, how does a guy make it in this business? That's how a guy makes it in this business. He's willing to give a little more of himself, drive half the night to get here in time to do our program. I'm grateful.
Well, we get rained on, too, like the 500 parade. I saw you in Indianapolis at the 500 parade. It got soaked over there, but enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, too, but I didn't put the T-top out of our car. But when I got finished with that parade, you could have wrung water out of my right arm hanging out that door.
I was on a Kroger and WRE radio station in Indianapolis float, and there was no top on it. And we were standing out in the rain, you know, waving to all the people.
And you went that whole
Yeah, we
whole
went, well, I don't know how far it was, but it was I thought it would never end.
I don't know how far it was, but it was longer this year, wasn't it, Steve?
It was a long one.
Steve, you started out writing mostly, rather than performing. You were a backup musician with Dottie and writing a bunch of songs. Did you ever think you'd have your own top 10 record?
I always wanted to. I always wanted to be an artist and be in front of the, be out there and have my own band behind me. I started out playing bass with Dottie, and fortunately I got to play on some of her records. And in fact, she and I actually, we did a song together. We recorded a record and was never released. It's still in the can at RCA. So there was been some talk that they might try to come out with it sometime.
I was going to say, as big as her star is now, and yours too.
It's we recorded it like in '73 or '74, and so I haven't even heard it since then. I'd be curious to listen to it.
You know, I read that, and I look at you. You still look like you're 22. And you started though at 17 with her. So.
I'm 27 now. I'll be 28 Christmas Day.
Boy, I got underwear that old. That's amazing. 27 years
so
old.
I, practically.
Your record of Kansas City Lights has been a biggie for you with RCA.
Yeah, that's been a real good record for us.
Oh, your own song. Did you write that too?
No, Kai Fleming and Dennis Morgan wrote that.
But here it is, like the city song of Kansas City. That's something to be proud of.
I've always, the Wilbert Harrison song, I'm Going to Kansas City, that's always fascinated me. I always, everywhere you go, somebody requests that song,
Sure.
So replacing that was a big honor. And
you got a new single now?
We got a new single. It's going to be out in about 3 or 4 weeks, I think, and an album that'll be right behind it. It's a real clever title of the album. It's called Steve Wariner. So,
very clever.
I don't know who came up with that.
Steve's going to do that tune for us in just a second. Barbara Mandrell and you will be on stage where and at what time?
We'll be at Riverfront tonight. I don't really know the time. 7:30, I think.
Just show up.
I see 8 o'clock over there. Okay.
Boy, I want to tell you something. That's one of the prettiest and most talented women in the world you're working with.
She is fantastic. Yeah, she's great.
Give her our best, will
I
you?
sure will.
Haven't seen her since last year's Ohio State Fair. She's quite a gal.
I understand she's going to be there again this year.
She's one of the biggest draws they had up there last year, so I hope she comes back. But one thing we're going to sorely miss this fall is the Mandrell Sisters television program.
Yeah, I know. That's a big loss, I feel. That's a really great show.
I think so, too. Steve, back on stage, if you will. We're going to present your brand new number. Steve Wariner is going to be, along with Barbara Mandrell, here in our city, but he's on our program right now, and we're very happy to have this talented young gentleman. Would you welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Wariner.
Blacktops burning, heat waves rise. Pick up my shovel, put my back to the grind. Got another job at Flagstaff when this one's paid. I work the freeway, the pay's alright, but I can't get you off my mind. 'Cause every stretch of highway ends the same. All roads lead to you. I thought I could forget, but it's no use. Your memory is there wherever I go, whatever I do. All roads lead to you. Boss says one more mile, the last one always goes so slow. If I could just turn off my mind, I'd be alright. But I keep wondering what went wrong. Who's holding you now that I'm gone? There's not a minute that goes by you don't cross my mind. All roads lead to you. I thought I could forget, but it's no use. Your memory is there wherever I go, whatever I do. All roads lead to you. Sun's getting to me. I think I see you in every car that passes by. No way around it. I'll always love you. Any fool can read the signs. All roads lead to you. I thought I could forget, but it's no use. Your memory is there wherever I go, whatever I do. All roads lead to you. I thought I could forget, but it's no use. Your memory is there wherever I go, whatever I do. All roads lead to you. I thought I could forget, but it's no use. Your memory is there wherever I go, whatever I do. All roads lead to you.
One of Steve Wariner's big hit records, All Roads Lead to You. I hope they lead to Riverfront tonight to see him and Barbara Mandrell. Thank you, Steve. Big money call time, $6,600 in the jackpot, and today we are going to draw for that trip that we talked about, and we didn't do it yesterday, but we are going to do it today. We started a new sentence yesterday with T. That was the first letter. The clue today, however, if I call you, is A. That's all you need to say. If I call you and you tell me A, this is the second of 15 letters in a new secret sentence that will result in someone winning a trip down to the World's Fair in September, courtesy of Barney Rapp Travel. You have 2 nights at the Hyatt, a wonderful vacation, and if you would like to win that, keep track of those letters, and we'll tell you where to send later on. We've had one ring. A is the clue if I'm calling you. Just remember A, the big A, $6,600. We've had 2 rings so far. A is the clue letter. If you're running for your phone, just say A instead of hello, and you'll win. Can you imagine all the people's phone ringing right now? They pick up and say, A. We've had, there's the 4th ring, still no answer. Yesterday we called Indianapolis, and nobody was home. And there's 5 rings. I have the feeling that this person must be out with somebody from Indianapolis. The 6th and final ring is coming up right now, and we have, again, no answer. We were calling a residence on Heatherwood Lane in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, Ohio called today, and the person living at that address on Heatherwood Lane, not at home apparently, and that means that on our next program we'll have $6,700, and we might call you. A lot of money in that jackpot. We will make that drawing a little bit later on and give somebody a nice gift, and I hope that that person enjoys that gift, that trip we're going to give away today from Barney Rapp. The one I mentioned for this new secret sentence, though, is a trip that leaves the end of September into October. I thought we had that on, we should have some video on that, but I guess we don't yet, from Barney Rapp Travel, and that trip is to the World's Fair. You'll have 2 nights at the Hyatt Hotel, tickets for 2 days to go to the World's Fair. It's for 2, by the way. You'll have buffet breakfast, meals on the way, and it's a bus trip. You'll be leaving out of Cincinnati by bus to Knoxville, Tennessee, and wouldn't it be funny if somebody from Knoxville won? You could meet the bus as they arrive at the Hyatt down there. Anyway, we'd like to have you participate in the big money call jackpot. Music time right now. Mary Ellen and Mark, and here they are with a brand new arrangement. Get them, kids.
Lonely nights turn into sunny days. I never thought I'd feel this way, I never knew. You and I were meant to be in love.
Oh, darling, you've always been around to see me through. How was I to know you'd make my dreams come true?
Time and time again we fall, always on our own, but now we're friends in love. Hoping that we always will be friends in love.
So long when we're together, darling, now we've got forever and a day.
Don't you go away.
Remember, every time you cried, you came to me.
Oh, much surprise, I found someone who could see through the nights of loneliness. You were always there for me. We're friends in love, hoping that we always will be friends in love.
So long when we're together, darling, now we've got forever and a day. Don't you go away.
You turned around and looked my way. I can't say that it hasn't crossed my mind. I've loved you all along.
Now we're leaving yesterday behind. We'll never be alone. Whoa.
Friends in love, hoping that we always will be friends in love.
So long when we're together, darling, now we've got forever and a day.
Don't you go away. Friends in love.
Beautiful new ballad. Mary Ellen Tanner and Mark Preston. We'll be back in just a moment.
We have some exciting and interesting guests joining us on upcoming shows, including star of 42nd Street, Mr. Leroy Reams, who will dance and sing and discuss his career, which has taken him from Covington, Kentucky to the Broadway stage. The creator of Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Mork and Mindy, Mr. Gary Marshall. Dr. Jack Hahn, who will have dental advice for treating summertime emergencies. Psychic Patricia Michelle. She'll look into the future and answer audience questions. Singer-actress Susan Anton, who will perform. The latest in bridal fashions with all of the accessories. Singing great Rosemary Clooney. She'll entertain with a couple of her great hits. Dr. Carter Bobbitt will offer pediatric advice. Beverly Nye, everybody's favorite homemaker, she'll prepare an economical dish that can save you money. Author Charles Perry, he'll discuss why Christians burn out. And our big money call contest could put cash in your pocket and send you on an exciting vacation. Join us.
It's time to make our drawing in the Big Money Call, where we're going to give the trip away that you sent in your postcard to Box 211 all about, and it's where you also will be sending in for the current trip that we're giving away. This too from Barney Rapp Travel, a trip for two to Nashville, July 23, 24, and 25, which includes bus fare from Cincinnati, 2 nights at the Music Hall Roadway Inn, a Grand Ole Opry performance, admission to Opryland Amusement Park, and 4 meals and a party. If you want information about this tour, call Barney Rapp Travel, Cincinnati, Ohio. Mark, you got them stirred up? Reach in and grab one. We also got to make that phone call. He's bringing it over right now. Okay, here's the number. Mark,
Okay.
if you will draw that. While Mark is doing that, let me tell you about our current extra gift we have in the Big Money Call. It's for a trip for two to the World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee, September 29th through October the 1st. And that includes 2 nights at the Regency, admission to the... Okay. Hang up and try your call again.
Okay.
Best laid plans.
Now, is that?
Yeah, you have to dial a 1.
Okay.
Oh, it's in an area code.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
They didn't write that down.
They're playing our song. Now they've got to know the sentence. Is it ringing? Ah, it is ringing.
Hello?
Ring number 2. Probably out with that person from Heatherwood. In Indianapolis, it's a trio. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And there's the next ring. If they're not home, we'll have to draw another one tomorrow.
That's right.
This could go on forever, you know that? Okay.
A little food here.
We must assume that they are not home. We'll draw another one and try again tomorrow. So if your postcard is in there, this call today was going to Ashland, Kentucky, and we must call them and get them to give us the sentence as it was given on the air, or they can't win. So we'll try again tomorrow and see if we can give this away. We'll be right back with a Piccolo player after we pause for this. Don't go away. No wonder my hair is turning gray, and if yours is and you would rather not have it that way, the people who make hair coloring, Floral, can really solve your problem. You know, they have a shampoo and they were the world's first to come out with a shampoo and hair coloring that had no ammonia in it. So if that is what you would like with your hair coloring, here's one that gives you a beautiful shade in 19 varieties in which to choose, called Claresse. You simply shampoo it in. Claresse is available in those 19 shades, and it does give dimensional shades as well. Now, if you're thinking about coloring your hair or you're not sure about it, I'd like to give you a toll-free number to call for information. 24 hours a day, this hotline is available. No obligation. They just want to help you. Call 800-252-4765. That's Clairol. Something special that the people who make grape nuts, raisin grape nuts cereal, would like you to know about is something that's going on the back of the grape nut cereal boxes these days. Where you buy your Post grape nuts or raisin grape nuts cereal, you'll find them on these specially marked packages. They tell you how you can get a package of it absolutely free. What it amounts to, if you buy 2 packages of Post raisin grape nut cereal, and then you send in, as they tell you on the back, they will send you a 3rd package absolutely free. And when you taste this, you're going to discover something extra good for breakfast time, snack time. It's Post raisin grape nut cereal. That natural goodness of grape nuts now enhanced with the flavor of raisins. And when you open this, wait till you see how many raisins are in there. Absolutely delicious and nutritious, made with a respect for nature. It's Post raisin grape nut cereal, and now you can get a box free. Find out how on the specially marked packages at your store.
Chewy, nutty, sweet, raisin grape nuts, what a treat. What a way to start your day. Eat a bowl so you can say, crunchy, chewy, nutty, sweet, raisin grape nuts, really neat.
What is a Piccolo player? Ladies and gentlemen, here is the one and only in the whole wide world, Ron McCroby.
Yeah. Gonna do a little whistle while you work, only I call it Piccolo while you work. Jimmy. Thank you. Hi, Bob.
Wonderful.
How are you?
He's a Piccolo player. Told you. See, Barbara, I knew you could do that. Before I talk to Ron briefly, I would like to mention that Alan Seamock was scheduled for today's program. He's the man who is the figure maker, and with the ventriloquist convention that is opening tomorrow in Fort Mitchell out at the Drawbridge Motel. He'll be on our show tomorrow with all the figures, and we'll talk with him about the convention and Farfel and all the rest of it. Ron, you're on your way to a big jazz festival. Where?
In Monterey, California in September.
And he has an album out of Piccolo playing, and it is fantastic. By the way, on our next program, Danny and the Juniors will be here. Remember their rock and roll music from back in the 50s and 60s? And Daniel Eastman will be here to help you with your makeup. Our thanks to today's guest and to you, and we might call you in that big money call, so join us right here tomorrow. We're going to pause for station identification, and Ron is going to stay with us, and he has another Piccolo tune for you. What are you going to do, Ron?
Your body and soul.
Also, I want to talk with him about the fact that Ron is more than just a whistler. He's a real musician who knows what he's doing. We'll be back with all of that, plus David Rood after station identification. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hair this beautiful deserves the most natural care, and that's what you get with Freeman Sea Kelp shampoo and hair conditioner. The Freeman family of fine cosmetics has developed a shampoo and conditioner that includes natural protein from the sea to help provide you with the healthy look and natural feel of beautiful hair. I'm Larry Freeman, and our family cares how you look naturally. For beautiful, bouncy hair, use our Freeman Sea Kelp shampoo and hair conditioner.
At Carpetland, we've always tried to save you money, and now we've come up with an extra special. Buy 2 rooms of carpet from our large selection in stock, and we'll give you the padding free. That's an average saving of $50. And if you buy 3 rooms, we'll give you the padding and installation free, which could save you over $200. We have beautiful Galaxy carpets starting as low as $8.99 at all Carpetland locations, where you always get quality carpet without paying the quality carpet price.
Join Bill Brown and Ray Lane as the Reds tangle with the Pirates tonight at 7:30, live on your sports station, TV5.
WLWT.
Ron McCroby is our guest, and Ron is a Piccolo player. And I mentioned to Barbara at the top of the show what Piccolo playing is all about. Ron, you've coined that word, didn't you?
I did. It's my word. I've registered it. Nobody else can have that word. I have the only Piccolo in the world.
I bet a lot of people watching you and me and listening on WMLX right now are thinking, I know that voice. I've heard it before today. You do a lot of commercials,
I do
don't
commercials. I do work for Hanna-Barbera. I do Saturday morning cartoon funny voices and some of that stuff. And I've done commercials around Cincinnati.
You're also an accomplished saxophone player, clarinet.
These guys may not think I'm an accomplished saxophone clarinet, but I play. Yeah, I'm a woodwind player.
And he developed his ability to whistle as he does because he used to, were you a delivery man or?
Well, I was a newspaper kid.
And as he would go around his route, he would practice his music by whistling the actual notes that were in the compositions that he was learning to play on the clarinet and other musical instruments. So when you whistle, you're not just like taking a ride, you're playing the actual
I'm kind of seeing it. I'm seeing it in my mind what I'm whistling, you know.
So you do like real arrangements and everything, like as if you're up there with a trumpet or something.
Right, with an instrument. I got to say, before we get any farther into this, that Bob's show was the first time I had appeared with my Piccolo in public. And this guy is the one who said, hey, whistling, let's hear it. And so I really have to thank him for that.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you on, Ron. I appreciate that very much.
I would say to some other people, well, I'm a jazz whistler, and they say, oh, yeah, that's got to be really good, you know. And so Bob believed in it, and it was really good. It's a real opportunity.
Well, thank you. When you came on the last time, though, you played to a tape, and I thought you had a record coming out.
Well, it's soon. You know, everybody says that it's coming out very soon, but I'm going to be doing the Monterey Jazz Festival in September, and I'm looking forward to that. Palo Alto Jazz that's put together to record me. I'm going to do some video for a cable jazz series and so forth.
You have to be the first Piccolo player to ever play a jazz festival.
I think so, yeah. And it's exciting because I'm going to be playing with jazz greats that I have admired for years. Carmen McRae is going to be on the show, the Gerald Wilson Big Band, Dave Brubeck, Dizzy Gillespie, and on and on and on.
How do you think these jazz fans of Monterey are going to take to the Piccolo player when he steps out to the microphone?
I don't know. Jimmy Lyons is the producer of the festival, and he got very excited about it.
Well, when you came in this morning, they called our office and said that there is a man down at the desk carrying a purse.
Well, it isn't a purse.
What is it?
It's my Piccolo case, you see, and I have to have a case to carry my lips in. And
Excuse me? Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It is shaped like a pair of lips, isn't it?
A pair of puckered lips. It's pursed lips, you see.
Barbara, I'd know you anywhere.
And I did another show, a national show a while back, and they had a sponsor of Eastern Airlines, and I have this little TWA on there, and I say this stands for the Whistler's Attaché. It doesn't stand.
Not Teeny Weeny Airlines.
Well, it could be that, but I've had a lot of fun with it.
What do you carry in there? Just air? Or
well, I carry, you know, chapstick and stuff like that. But I have a book in here. It's kind of funny that I have written, The Art of Playing the Piccolo, you see. And it's got all the stuff in there, what you do and don't do.
Practice playing proficiency and perform prestigious Piccolo preludes in public.
That's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah.
Care of the instrument.
Yes, read some of those, Bob. You know, these are really important to a guy who is serious.
You're the professor.
Sure. Well, you have to avoid hot liquids. They could burn your lips.
Oh, sure.
You have to be careful going through revolving doors. Pow, you know. And the most important one of all, you don't want to get smart with people who are bigger than you are.
Yes, true.
It's all over.
And shave very carefully.
Oh, you know, I have to watch that.
And avoid herpes.
Well, that's a big one. I have some lessons in here. The first lesson is Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yes.
And then we go on to lesson 2, The Flight of the Bumblebee.
You mean, wait a minute now.
We move you right along in this book.
The first page is Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Sure.
Now,
try it. Go ahead, Bob. You want to hear him do this. In fact, he's going to accompany me on something. He doesn't know it yet, but he is. See that? Good. See, it's good. You want to do something that you can maybe accompany me on, and then maybe we'll do something with the audience.
Okay.
Maybe, you know, if you can just do this. Can you do that? Keep going, and here I come. Ready? Okay, now we'll switch parts. I'll take yours. And you do mine.
What is this, a whistle along? I'm not ready for that. You're going to do another tune for us today,
I'd love to. I'd like to do something else.
When your album comes out, you must make me a promise, since you were so kind and said those things about me. I want to be the one that introduces it to the whole world.
And you will, I promise. I really will. Yeah, because I want you to have it first.
I'd also like to have you back when you come back from Monterey. When are you going out there?
September, middle of September.
I'd like to have him back, find out how he did at that jazz festival. Will you do that?
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Okay, encore time. Let me see what we got on the music sheet. Body and Soul.
Yeah.
Ron, I'm going to put you on stage right now and present you one more time.
Go get my mic.
I think that, before you leave...
that was made here in town.
I was going to ask you, because I once did a commercial for a bank here in Cincinnati, and they were trying to encourage people, rather than move, to build onto their house. And they had me standing behind this desk, and I had on a space helmet, a toy one. And I took it off and I said, "Do you have a space problem at your home?"
Oh, that's fun.
And did the whole 1-minute commercial on this. What do you think the people wanted to buy? The space helmet.
Right.
Now, we've done commercials for everybody that breathes today on the show. I'm about to ask anybody who brought maybe an empty container of toilet bowl cleaner today. Look that up in your Funkin' Wagon, all right?
You're right.
Anybody here bring an empty can of anything with you today that you clean toilet? Now, look at this, Ron. Look at this stir. Look at the lady with the brown bag back
Holy
there.
cow.
Lady over there will make that vanish, and there's one in the back right there. The people who make the great product that we talk about, which is Mary Ellen's favorite, called...
I love it. Germicidal Santa Flush.
Thank you. We're going to fill all those empty cans with a fresh new can of Germicidal Santa Flush. So enjoy that. Now, the reason I did that right now and brought that up is that people who are watching would say, I would love to have a Piccolo attaché case.
Well,
where'd you get this purse?
I had that. I designed that, and I had that made down at Merriweather Leather, just a couple blocks from here.
Oh, right down at Merriweather Leather.
Yes, it's virtually.
It's right on the corner of 9th and... he's at 9th and Race.
Yes. I wanted to tell you that this Saturday night, I'm going to be at Fountain Square doing part of the Cool Jazz Festival. And then this Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be at Bentley's down on 5th Street.
Your career is blossoming.
It's zooming, and I'm going to be at Bentley's once a month from here on out, as long as the bellows hold out.
Will you have time to continue working at Leonard's Hut?
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay, I'm going to present you right now.
Oh, you got it, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to present the world's foremost Piccolo player. Would you welcome Ron McCroby and his Lips?
Oh, thank you so much.
Sensational. Ron McCroby.
Thanks,
Thank
Bob.
you, Ron. We'll see you at Bentley's and on the square and
Thank
back
you.
here after Monterey. Ron McCroby. We'll be right back. Stacy Storage and Moving Company comes back on our show today as a sponsor, and Ron Juergen's great company is right here in Cincinnati, affiliated with United Van Lines and serving the world, really. And if you're going to move, it's a traumatic experience. You know that when you have to move, you think, oh, boy, I don't want to move. They'll even pack for you. And another thing that, I don't know how you feel about it, but every time we've moved, my wife has thought, do I have to clean this place? I don't want the people moving in to think I left such a mess. Do you know that Stacy will even do that for you? They have all of these services. Plus, when they come to your home to give you an estimate for moving, they also can provide this service to talk about where you're moving to. If it's a new city, new state, or a new country, they can acquaint you with where you're going long before you ever get there. And they bring these little toy trucks along, too, for the kids so that they'll sort of look forward to moving and get into the swing of things, too. Stacy Storage and Moving Company. They can store your furniture, too. Stacy is located in Cincinnati, and you can call them at 221-1234. Maybe you're not moving right away, but this is a number you want to keep on hand, so when the occasion happens, you're ready for it. It's 221-1234. Don't make a move without Stacy. Now let's talk carpets. And in the summertime, we're outdoors a lot, and sometimes you don't think so much about what's inside. But did you take a look at the carpets lately? Did you ever see them in the daytime with the shades up? And you think, oh, boy, look at the spots. Sometimes you think you need new, where really what you need is a thorough cleaning job. They have a complete guide to carpet care that they'd like to provide you from the Stanley Steamer people, the professionals. These are people who have been trained as to how to use the equipment so that they can really get the best cleaning job possible with your carpets. And they only bring this wand into your house, and that's all. All the dirty water and everything else stays outside on the truck. And if you'd like to find out about it, you check the yellow pages under carpet cleaners or the white pages for Stanley Steamer and call them. You'll be amazed at how economically you can have your carpets professionally cleaned by Stanley Steamer, the professional carpet cleaners. And you'll find them in the yellow pages under carpet cleaners, in the white pages under Stanley Steamer. Don't forget Stanley Steamer Carpet Care. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome David Rood to our show? Hello, David. Welcome. They tell me that you have something that's going to make me feel like I'm back in the islands again.
Well, I was going to ask you how you enjoyed your trip there. I was thinking about you. In fact, it inspired me to do this arrangement today, which is a paradise, tropical paradise kind of brought back home so people can accomplish this in their own home, hopefully.
You could talk to my wife and she'll tell you it's true that I mentioned your name several times in Hawaii.
Did anybody know me?
No, I don't mean, not like out to a big crowd. I just said David Rood would lose his gourd over here because everywhere you look, like birds of paradise. You have some over there, I think, don't you?
Right. In fact, a little interesting thing about this, a lot of people don't know this, but the bird of paradise has several birds in its pod.
Excuse me?
And I'm going to attempt to pop one right here before everybody's eyes. Let me get this out a little bit. See how we can bring up another one? Ooh. Oh. And then when the old one expires, you merely break it off, and then you can keep popping the birds. There's approximately 5 to 7 of these birds in each pod.
Something new you've learned today. Somebody says, how's your bird? You can say, let me show you right here.
I'll tell you what, let's do.
Yes.
Next year, why don't I go along on this Hawaiian trip as a floral advisor? How would that be?
It'd be a great idea because when you walk outside over there, like at the Kauai Surf Hotel, as you walk over to the main lobby, there are a lot of, would it be bushes, David? Bushes of birds of paradise. Yeah. And you can't believe that this is growing wild. You know, this is actually growing right here. And then these things, I don't believe they're real. I think somebody, even in Hawaii, goes around, puts those on the tree at night, ties them on with string or something. Because it's gorgeous, but it doesn't look real, David.
That's right.
What do you call that?
This is the anthurium. I had to stop and think for a second. We have a different term for this in the shop. This is a family show. We'll leave that part out.
You mean you caught something else?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to find out. I'll pass it on to you.
Well, anyway, it's a little boy flower is what we call it.
Is that a fact? Yeah. I would never have imagined why. That's very interesting.
This one here is a haliconia.
A haliconia?
Yes, I think it's probably...
grows in California, I guess. Huh?
Probably one of the ugliest of the tropical flowers, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, there's one plant over there. There's a tree. Maybe you know what it is, but the blossoms of this tree are poisonous, and the sap in the tree would be poisonous as well. And there were a group of people on picnic in Hawaii, and they wanted to have a weenie roast. And they didn't have charcoal. They couldn't get it going, whatever. So they tore branches off this particular bush, and they started a fire with it, and they grilled their marshmallows and hot dogs on this fire, and all 6 of them died because this particular plant is poisonous. Do you know which one it would be?
Well, there's several that are. I really don't know. This particular arrangement, you can also roast your hot dogs and marshmallows on. So
you want to build a fire, are you, Dave?
Right. We're going to do flowers and flame today.
I think I'll just take this gas pipe and leave.
I want to tell everybody what we're going to be offering today so they can go ahead and get their pencil and paper. But I brought along here the language of flowers. You know, the language of flowers is so predominant in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives all the flowers and what they mean. I have the red carnation in my hand, and this means my heart aches for you. Now, you all remember that now.
Sounds
my
like
heart
words
aches
for
for
a song,
you.
yeah.
Right, and the yellow chrysanthemums that we have today means slighted love. So if you would like a dictionary of what each and every flower means, you may write to me shortly, and we'll give you that address, and you can have it.
So if you send a bouquet, like for example, we call your florist shop in Indianapolis, if we were to call you, you could tell them what flower to send to express what you're thinking?
That's right. If you give me the message, we can send the flower, providing it's in season.
What does gardenia mean?
Well, let's look it up.
Gardenia, what does it mean?
See if you can find it. Well, I'm putting
Without
the
my glasses,
flowers
I should
in.
find this?
Okay. I'm not much better.
G-A-R.
Grass is on
Gardenia here. Your lovely secret love.
Right.
Now, what it meant in high school, it was the cheapest corsage we could buy for the prom.
Yeah, they were about 75 cents then.
Oh, about 75 cents, guaranteed to wilt by the time you got to the car.
That's right. We've got a new class starting on the 19th of July for those that would like to come for a 3-week course and learn to be a floral artist. And we got another one coming up in August, so if they'd like to write for the schedules at the same address, they can too. I'm putting these in, and I wanted to tell that this is a lobster basket. You might have seen those over in Hawaii where they actually catch the lobsters and keep them in it. So we've got an authentic lobster basket. What I've got here that you're holding in your hand is water pipe that you can buy in any hardware store, very inexpensive. Cut it to any length you want. These are the attachments that normally connect the two pipes together, and we're putting that on, and with that, I've taken a common ordinary candle holder, and it just happens to fit right in there. I've wrapped these in black. These are sterno cans here, along with the candles. The tea leaves from Hawaii. We have the common flowers of the chrysanthemum and carnation, which you can use. I'm trying to show that people don't have to have the tropical blossoms to get this type of a look. I have $1.87 tied up in the candles and sterno. That's the whole works. $1.87, not counting the glass, and they're about 75 cents each. So you can do this very inexpensively, and you can do it in a watermelon. I didn't do it this time because we did that last year, but this same arrangement could be made in a watermelon.
Where'd you get King Kamehameha?
Well, I carved that. This is the foam that my flowers are in. This is Sahara, normally meant for silk flowers, and the other is made in the green floral foam, oasis form. And this I just carved out with my knife because it's a very soft, pliable type material, so I just whittled it out with my knife there. Bob, would you like to help me, and we'll light some of these?
Okay. We got to get a little Hawaiian drum here going. Hey, la la, hi, ne, na, ooh. Hey, na, na, no, no. You know what they do with those songs? In the Hawaiian alphabet, they only have. In the Hawaiian alphabet, they only have 12 letters. And they use the A, E, O, U, and anytime you see those letters, I, A, E, O, U, they pronounce them always the same way, like Ka'anapali Beach would always be, they pronounce every word, every letter, Ka'anapali Beach. And once you learn that, it's easy. But when they sing those songs, I swear they're not saying anything, they're just taking the vowels going, E, U, I, O, na, e, o, na, ooh.
The magic of the islands is brought forth. We've lowered the lights so that people at home can get the effect. And this is a very tropical, very flashy type of arrangement that you can accomplish in your own home. Sterno cans on the plastic pipe, like I say, $1.87, okay?
Give me liberty.
The bird of paradise represents freedom of love.
Free love.
Freedom of love.
Oh, excuse me. We got the Making Men group here today from down in Kentucky. The rose, the red rose says, I love you. The tea rose says, I'll remember always. And the thornless rose says, love at first sight. And if you'd like to have this, it tells you what all the flowers are saying by way of sending them to people. Here is the address. you write to Indianapolis Floral Design School, 6822 East 82nd Street, Indianapolis, 46250. You've just met David Root. David, you're a genius.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Mark just says, what's a dandelion mean? I guess he got some. I don't know. We'll check it out. Well, if your dandelions are a little droopy, hang on. We got some showers working their way down out of central Indiana right now. David, you be careful up on I-74. The shower's about 35 miles an hour. They're not too thick. Once they start, they go by, and then that's the end of them. And then there's another little installment. But so far, it looks like it's tolerable. But it's going to be one of those thunder shower afternoons and really steamy. Upper 80s to low 90s. Tonight, the showers will continue with muggy conditions, temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. And during the day tomorrow, watching for mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. It'll be a better day. Even noticeably less humidity, particularly in northern Indiana and northern Ohio down to the central areas. A little bit more humid as you get on toward the Ohio River and southward. Temperatures tomorrow will be just a little bit cooler. Mid 80s to upper 80s, that's not so bad. Temperature at Cincinnati now is 87, and at Columbus it's 88, Indianapolis 88. That's the weather.
Thank you, Bill. Now, I'll start, and after I've gone through the first two measures, then this is a round.
What are two measures? These two things? Is that two?
One measure's a foot, the other's a yard.
I'm serious.
A mile and a rod.
You're talking to the wrong person.
Nan, can you do this? a little round?
We'll do it together. Here.
It's in the book. It's right here in Ron McCroby's book.
Don't cry out loud.
I don't know. We didn't ask him where you could buy this, but we will. We're going to turn our cameras around in just a couple of minutes. Let me pause. We'll be right back, and then it's going to be showtime, and let everybody here smile, and we'll pick a winner of the day. Don't go away. Creative Products has something they'd like to interest you in. Now, we have the Make and Mend Club from Eminence, Kentucky here today. Maybe you belong to a club, a fraternity, sorority, or whatever, or perhaps you're a member of a church, and you'd like to have something special around Christmas time to commemorate that club, that organization, and in the bargain, make a little money. Creative Products of the Cincinnati area would like to tell you that they can make your own Christmas tree ornaments. Make them from pewter, and they can put the design of your club, they could put the design of your church, like the picture of your church on it and the name of your church, and say Christmas 82 on it. Now's the time to order them, and you can buy them reasonably so that you can resell them to your members and make money for your organization or your charitable drive. They also have nativity scenes with everything made of pewter, including the stable and everything else, and the crib, the Christ child, the wise men, and so forth. If you want information without any obligation about all of this stuff, all you need do is to call or write Creative Products. They're at 4901 Foley Road, Cincinnati, or call them at 922-8144. We welcome a friend to our show today that I can remember when I used to stock shelves at my dad's grocery store, and when I used to do this at Borcher's Grocery over on Carneal Street in Elm and Ludlow. I remember Stegner's. Stegner's mock turtle soup. Now, I love mock turtle soup. It's one of my favorite things. It's thick, it's brown, delicious, and they make this with selected cuts of beef. And I'd like to suggest that you give this a try all year long, summertime as well. Stegner's mock turtle soup is so good. And let me tell you how native this is to Cincinnati. There was a man named Clarence Stegner. He started this company. He used to have a booth at Findlay Market. And he used to make his recipe of mock turtle soup, and they would sell it in jars. He'd make just a few jars, and they'd sell it down at Findlay Market. Well, it got to be so popular down there that they had to go into a production line to make it. But they have kept that same family recipe now for nearly 100 years. This has been on the market. Stegner's mock turtle soup. You want something different for a change? Take it from me. I grew up in Ludlow, and I think I grew up halfway on Stegner's mock turtle soup. It's delicious. Teddy, you're looking good today. If you're ready to go, we have a lovely group of people here today gathered on our show from all over the area. Even Clarksburg, Ohio, they're here today. Canton, Ohio. Marcella Werdertz is here today. From Greensburg, Indiana, Ruth Tucker is here today. And also, where's Fran Fierro? Fran, where are you, baby? Where, Fran? I can't find you. Over there with the baby? Oh, she's the little girl, huh? She said, Bob, you're going to kiss me on the lips today. Yes, sir. That's 2 days in a row I've had it off her like that. Come on, Ted.
That face, that wonderful face, it shines and it glows all over the place. How I love to watch it change expression. Each look becomes the prize of my possession. I love that face, that face. It just isn't fair. You must forgive the way that I stare, for never will my eyes behold a sight that can replace that face, that wonderful face.
Ah, look at that face, that wonderful face. Who me is what we call this part of the show. Who are you, ma'am?
Gail Skipworth.
Hello, Gail. You're the who me of the day, because everybody who gets into this, they look around and say, who, me? Where are you from, Gail?
Zanesville, Ohio.
Now, what did you say when the camera stopped on you?
I said, oh.
Who, me?
Who, me?
I have tickets for the baseball game to see the Reds play, and trust me, they're going to turn it around. They're going to start tonight. On most of these same stations, the game is televised tonight from Pittsburgh. They wouldn't dare lose with Bill Brown calling the play-by-play, and they're going to be in Pittsburgh tonight, so you got to be sure you watch that on most of these same stations. See the Reds play Pittsburgh tonight. Tom Seaver, I predict Tom Seaver will pitch a 5-hit, 1-run game tonight. The Reds will win this game, and Pittsburgh will not score more than 1 run. If this is not true, I will be seeing you folks from satellite after this. These are from Stacy Storage and Moving Company. It's a United Van Lines Road Atlas. 2 tickets to see the Reds play and a $20 bill, and my congratulations to you. Good to see you today.
Thank you very much.
Alan Seamock was scheduled for today's program. He'll be on tomorrow. Ben Haven is having a great big thing in northern Kentucky. That is the Ventriloquist Museum. They're all going to be over at the motel in northern Kentucky, Drawbridge Inn. They're having a convention over there. And also on tomorrow's program, Danny and the Juniors. Daniel Eastman with skincare and makeup, and Bob Braun